Good morning. Sorry. Let's see. How late am I? Uh, about 7 minutes late. Sorry. I had to get my coffee, which is in a green mug, so it's invisible. Isn't that cool? It's like a drone. Or is it a UFO? You'll never know. I actually saw like a UFO thing like this a long time ago above the city in Denver when I was at my house growing up. And I was like, is that a I didn't know what a blimp was or anything, but it was shaped very like not like UFOs on in movies. Morning, Michelle. Good morning, Sister Knives. Morning, Lindsay. It was shaped like like a machine, kind of like a tornado. You want to do a whole video on Phoenix lights? Yeah, there's a lot of UFO Denver videos as of recent as well. And what's with all the aliens they say that have been walking the streets? Do you guys see that too? It's kind of like when the people dressed up as the clowns and they're like walking around everywhere. And forgive me, I have a cough drop. Good morning, Glitter and Gloss. Good morning, Amy. I love you, Amy. Uh, the clown thing I think was like a trend. Very weird trend for like serial killers or something, you know? I missed that memo in the serial killer archive. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, I'm trying to wake up. It is snowing. Well, it's actually snowing hard, like down in Denver, but out where we're at, it's not as bad. And you'd think it'd be worse, like way out here. No clowns allowed. Clowns are dumb. Like they're not scary to me. They're stupid. That would explain a lot if there's aliens among us. Maybe the aliens were dressed up as clowns. Maybe the clowns were dressed up as aliens. North Carolina is hot? Is that NC? Or are you saying Natasha Cooper's hot? Ooh, I think she's hot too. Love you, Natasha. God, I want to make out with you. Aliens are in Antarctica. Do you think they're frozen in Antarctica and they can come back to life? Or do you think they just like can stand really cold weather? And that's why they live on the moon inside of it, because it's very cold on the moon. But the sunny side I hear is the sunny side of the moon warm? There's sun over there. They have sun on the moon. Did you know that they have sun? They have a dark side too. It doesn't move either. Clown aliens. Kind of sounds like a lot of YouTubers, right? Amy? Hey, Crystal. She is North Carolina 80. Oh, shit. There's a hidden city underneath the ice. Thea, then why am I booking a ticket to head your way in about 2 months when my ass needs to be heading Antarctica and you need to go too. Fuck the ghost box, fuck the Ouija board. We're bringing our scooters and we're fucking our hoverboards and we're going to go hang out with some aliens and make some snow aliens. Get it? Instead of snow angels? Amy, I'm going to kind of be close to you in May. I should tell you too. Anyways, that's that. Do you guys believe in aliens? Kayaking to Antarctica. It's going to have to be a kayak slash sled. Kayak that kind of turns into a sled. You know what I'm saying? Antarctic expedition. Yeah, I mean, this can be very challenging. I was going to say exciting, but when I thought about it, I was like, oh, fuck that. Could barely step outside to let my dog take a shit. And all I have to do is open the door to let her out. It's fucked up. Aliens who identify with clowns is all ha. That's very discriminatory, Michelle. I'm just kidding. You don't believe in aliens, Sister Knives? We vape, Robbie. We're going to be so winded. Shit. Nope. I don't believe in aliens, Amy says, but I do believe in evil. So do you think aliens is like a conspiracy to try to scare people into something? Hold on before we get started. I wonder if I'm allowed to say this. I have cameras in my house too. And Siri listens to me, so I think she's asleep right now. She might have just woke up now. But you want to know something? Morning, Chantel. Hey, Beard Freak. I think, you know how do I word this without, do you know how, like, there's conflict in the world and, like, tragedies and sickness and stuff like that? Do you know that there's all of those things all over the place? Do you want to know something else? I kind of think there's already, this is for entertainment purposes only, okay? Please. I kind of think there's already a one world order and we just don't know it. I think all of the fights around the world, in my opinion, are because what happens when you have fear in your body? You start being thankful and kind to each other and you start supporting your neighbors, your country, you know, for entertainment purposes. And in real life, you do protect people. So, what better than world leaders in a movie to gather together and plan, like, hey, let's just make sure we keep people in line and scare the fuck out of them. Okay. There's only one alien that I believe in is real, and that's space. You think space is an alien? That's God's vagina. It's big. I think there is proof of aliens the government would never tell us because people panic. Stupid. I know, and that's so dumb. Like, they probably have their shit together more than us if they were the ones who were able to get to us rather than us find them. Obviously, they have better technology and they're fucking smarter anyways. They're gonna be fine. You think an alien is gonna come all the way to wherever fucking planet they came from just to fight with somebody and then die? No. They're gonna be peaceful as fuck. Hell, they might even sleep with a couple of us. You might have already slept with an alien and don't know it. Do you understand? I think when Jesus comes and takes us up, they say the aliens took us because we were bad. I'm cool with that. I'm a bad boy, daddy. You agree with me? Thea says, yep. I think the government, a beard freak says, I think the government literally trying to kill you. But, if there's anything you need, you let us know. Hey, cutie pie. That's hot. Yeah? Yeah, you like that? Do you like that? Hey, Without Borders, that would be a fun 23 and me test to get back. Which test? Proof of aliens is the government. I read that. I think I'm trying to see what Thea's talking about. Anyways, don't come for me, ET. Okay, that's just my opinion. I think there's already world peace and we don't know it. Like, as far as, the people that are in charge. Because what a smart business venture. I mean, who would want to destroy the world? No, that's not going to make you money or, you know, come together right now. Come all over me. Sleeping with aliens is hot. Ooh. Donna says, I don't think alien sex would be good. Don't knock it till you knock it. You understand? Are you alien 23 and me? If you are part alien. Oh, okay. I mean, you could be. You could be mixed. Hey, Muffin Mouse. You could be lots of shit. Hey, the shit show. It was nice to meet you yesterday. I thought in the beginning when I first heard you, I thought you said you didn't like Scotty, and you're like, he's a friend of Scotty, but you said you're a friend of Scotty. Um, So there's that. Anyways, I have something to respond to that I didn't even know was going on. Let me look at because let me start off by saying I loved Morbid and Laura. So, and I know that they go at each other, Perplexed Cutie. And so I think it was the last couple of days I saw Morbid's title, was about Laura. So naturally, I don't go into streams like that because, if it's going at one of your friends, you just don't participate. It's a bad look and you don't want your friend to get confused. And there's that. But apparently he was like going over my stream. And by the way, he has my email. He said at one point in his live stream, "You have my email. I can send you all the info. All you got to do." I'm like, all you had to do was email me. And I'll get into that. So let's just gather around, get your coffee, get off your alien, finish up. And if he can't get you off, then finish yourself off and gather around.
No, no chance. No, no dance. No, no chance. No, no dance. No, no chance. Give me second chances.
That's so cool!
Hey! Ow! Ow! My
Okay, he was off the charts last night. What was kind of threw me off guard is that candy cane peppermint chapstick. No, this one's just what is this? Cherry. But I love all chapsticks. So anyways, I don't know if you heard the other day, but I had mentioned, just so there wasn't any confusion, okay, because I wake up in the morning and I think for myself. And I was addressing Laugh at Life, and she had let a felon, I think it was like 20, 25 years ago or something, but even if it was yesterday, I would have the same opinion. And he had a run-in with, an underage person a long time ago and stuff, which I do not agree with. I do not support that. If anybody's being abused and I know about it in my presence, whether adult, child, elderly person, I would report that. I would not support that. But what I was saying is, she was saying, this person was going to be homeless and she let them stay in her house and stuff. And so I just wanted to let her know because listen, we don't have to agree with people just because we're friends. All friends are going to disagree. And if there's going to be some sort of like backlash or terrible thing, you get so angry that you have to drag them just for having a different opinion. That's not going to change my opinion. You don't agree with that either. There you go. But, you were helping somebody. And I said the other day, we don't know everyone's living situation. And, I was talking about homeless people and how we give money to them, but we really don't know what we're supporting, what they're going to do with it, where they're at, or whatever. And so anyways, yeah, he was registered on a list, the guy that stayed with her. And I don't think it's right to like block her or go at her for that because in my personal opinion, I think it's an invasion of privacy. I mean, you shared that with people, so it was public, but um, I just didn't agree with that. So I was simply saying, I'm not going to block you. I'm not going to be mean to you based on that. Now, I guess that didn't sit well with Morbid. He didn't reach out to me and let me know anything. Um, so it was very confusing. I was bouncing around and I skipped his live stream because it was about Laura. So I didn't want to participate so Laura wouldn't be offended, And so I come across May's channel and I hear my voice. I was like, wait, what? Why is Morbid stream? He streamed me and commentated before, but there was not like it wasn't a positive, friendly thing. You know, he was basically going at me for having a different opinion, saying that I need to rethink my decision and come back basically when I can behave or whatever. And I apparently he had been streaming and upset about this for the last couple of days, and I didn't know that. I had no idea. Uh, and he said the first thing you should think about in the morning is this. Why aren't you addressing this? You've ignored it the last couple of days. And I'm like, that's because I haven't heard any of it. When I wake up in the morning, I don't think about Morbid. Matter of fact, he never really even comes in my chat, so why should he care who comes in here? He's on a public list, Laugh at Life. You actually have gone through grooming therapy. Well, whatever it takes. People often confuse, let me just pause real quick and say, people often confuse, you know, when I say first of all, not that I'm forgiving or supporting anyone's act, whether it's murder or whatever it is, but my belief. And people are like, well, this isn't the Bible and this. And I'm like, great. I love Christ, but I don't go strictly by the Bible because there's a lot of things that don't sit well and that I question that don't make sense. And I go straight to the source. I go to Christ. And I don't condemn, it's not my job to condemn people to hell or whatever you want to call it based on anything. I think, in my opinion, that as long as you're living and breathing, no matter what, you have the opportunity to grow wisdom, change, better yourself, better your actions, and all of that stuff. So, regardless of what anybody's done in the past, I don't think that they should be denied the chance to become a better soul and a better human. And I don't know how much more clear I can be. Uh, it wasn't even to be negative. And, you know, I am not going to jump on the bandwagon of, you know, people going after Morbid saying he's the P word and stuff, because I do not think that. We've gone over that. And I don't think he's a P word at all. I'm not going to jump on the hate train. I was confused. Hey, Scotty. And so last night he had ended his live stream. So obviously I couldn't take a link. But May was, you know, streaming it. So I just went up there to explain. And it's just crazy. I don't think Morbid is a P. No, not at all. He's not. So, you know, if people think that I'm not like that. I judge for myself. So if people think I'm like, yeah, Morbid was mean to me or whatever, so now I'm gonna, you know, call him the P word or whatever, it's not gonna happen. Okay. So, and I understand people have been like, hey, now do you want to see? I don't care to see the videos of Morbid. I don't even care to go there. I have a life and things to do with my time. So you've never jumped on that. I don't agree the Bible is 100% cannot take stuff out or put stuff in. Yeah, it's just to do what's right. Didn't he turn on us for Beck in space and believed everything they said? Yeah, I think maybe that's what's going on again. I don't really know. And I don't I do not support. There's so many people that will sit there and call you, well, me specifically, you're a terrible person. You're horrible. But I really show forgiveness and try to make amends anywhere that I can. Uh so that both parties can, you know, heal or grow. And I've done that even with my worst enemies. It hasn't worked out, but I've tried a number of times and I'll try again in the future. Uh so it's annoying that people will put a label on you, because basically at the end of the live stream, Morbid said that he was like, here's Save Robbie. And it was very gaslighting, saying, Save Robbie, the guy who supports, you know, a 13-year-old getting, you know, the rest. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? I do not support that. And of course, just like people call Morbid, the P word and all of that, I don't support that. I don't agree with that. So I've, defended him because I don't believe that's true. I've defended him a number of times for that, saying, that's not true. I don't believe that he is. People have tried to convince me in the past. And when I was really angry, I kind of at Morbid a long time ago, when kind of the same thing happened before, I'd go over and share the videos and stuff out of spite. But I mean, I've grown since then, so I'm not going to do that. And I don't support that. So why would you expect me just to block somebody for like the same thing that people blame you for and stuff? Like, and Laugh at Life didn't even do anything. It was somebody she knew and let live with her a long time ago. This all needs to stop. Your adult daughter and son are now very upset because of the lies and twisting. Personally, I like your community nice and peaceful, and I'll support who I want. And if I have to, I won't chat so I don't affect anyone's channel. Well, I don't like the word community. Morbid used the word loyal yesterday, and I'll get into what I believe that is. Loyalty. But you do not have to not chat here just because you think it's going to offend somebody. I don't care to change my opinions or my morals to fit in with somebody or to be welcomed or to try to have somebody accept me. That's not how I operate. I don't do the group gang mentality, teaming up. We don't like this person. And there's no we. It's either I like a person or I don't. That's just me. That's nobody else. I think people throw that word around a lot around here, and they really shouldn't. Well, it's like it's the go-to thing that really, stirs the pot. Cutie Pie says, I'm not surprised he's coming at you. He needs drama for new content, so you're next in line. Well, I mean, whatever. Hey, Mark W. I hope you're doing good. I think as long as they come in peace and aren't bringing any drama, who cares if they're just hanging out in chats? Yeah, because I mean, I'm not on the earth or here to be like, we are against you. There's no group. It's either you enjoy people's presence or you don't. And in order to know if I enjoy someone's presence or not, I have to get to know them myself. Everybody has their own experience with people. We're all adults. You're able to not talk to somebody or not. If somebody's not dragging you and they're simply having their own opinion, I don't see why you would, shut people out or drag them. That's just, to me, that's not how I operate. Amy says that's the problem around here. If someone hates a person, they expect everyone else to hate them, and that's not going to work with me. I like who I like. Yeah, and we learn that the hard way, like over time, because I've been that person many, many times. It's like, I can't believe you're talking to them. But you learn and you grow that people have their own minds. So you're just going to have to let them be. They're not harming you. They're not participating in dragging you. They have their own opinion. Hey, and teas and apple bottom jeans. Yeah, I had no idea what was going on. I have been dealing with my life and family. I just noticed a few weeks ago, people saying stuff in chats. Jules Ray is an ex-Patreon of Laura's and was behind the scenes in Discord with them. Crystal is filthy and has her hands on everything. I don't know who Crystal. Are you talking about Crystal that's in the chat? Don't get me wrong. There's a lot that's been said that I don't agree with, but just don't agree with censoring people. Yeah, or just going at people for having a different opinion. But yeah, I mean, he was, and I don't really know what's going on with him and Laura, but I thought he had been streaming about Laura the last couple of days. So that's why I didn't tune in. Not going to participate, not going to go in Laura's chat, if she was dragging him. That's just, I mean, that's loyalty, So anyways, hold on a minute. Let me see. Oh, so the last person you think would do something sometimes is the first. Most of the time it's over nonsense. Yeah, I think we all learn that, right? Mark W. I think everybody experiences that at one point. But Morbid had said, I really hope you sit and think about your decision and know that it's wrong. And listening to it, I really felt like it was like a principal spiting me and being like, don't come back until you do this. And like putting it in my head that making a peaceful gesture, either with May or Laugh at Life, was the wrong thing to do. And I'm like, that doesn't change my opinion. To me, that's your opinion. So just because I don't agree with you on that, I can agree to disagree. But if it's going to be something that you get overly upset about, I mean, that's something you're going to have to deal with, because I'm not going to change my mind on it. It's what feels right to me. And if I make a bad decision that feels right at the time, later down the road, I'd learn my lesson. But that's my lesson to learn. I don't have to learn based on what you say. Pretty sad I have haters and I'm not even a creator yet. Well, yeah, welcome to YouTube. I don't have a problem with anyone. Laugh at Life says, for 4 years, I've been chatting and trying to network with people to get my channel going, which now I don't think I'm going to. Well, I don't think people should be put in fear to not speak for themselves, to not say what they feel. That is censoring people. Let's see. Okay, so hold on, because as I was listening, I was like, okay, I don't want to forget to talk about that. But yeah, as I said, as far as people now coming and being like, do you want to see what Morbid said to kids and all this? And I'm like, no, I don't. I'm not going to jump on that hate train. I'm just not going to do it. As far as, him saying, loyalty, and I think he was speaking about Nikki, which me and Nikki were good. I really was unaware of the issues that her and May had, the detail of it and the depth. So at the point, and I love Nikki and I've spoke to her and we're good. We're planning a trip together. Nikki's amazing and Thea's amazing. At the time that May came in my chat and then came up on my panel, it didn't even cross my mind because I didn't really know the details. All I was thinking was like, oh, good, this is progress. Like, this is good. I know lots of people that I like fight with her and I fight with her. So this is good. And then she came up and it was a very peaceful conversation. Unfortunately, after it ended, there were many people in Morbid's Discord that were talking shit that I didn't know about because I'm not in his Discord. And it had hurt some people. So, I wanted to make sure that they knew that I was sorry if that hurt them. And at that point, I couldn't just take back my apology. So I'm like, all I can do at this point is try to help, like, fix it. And I want to say, May, thank you for taking those videos down of Nikki. Because I know it can be very rough, when that kind of stuff happens. So I appreciate that. But as far as like loyalty, I'm thinking to myself as he's preaching and speaking about, you be loyal to your people and your group. And I'm like, no, it's treat me the way you want to be treated. Yes, she did take those down, Thea. Treat people the way you want to be treated. And loyalty also, I mean, there's so many different things. Really, the only person I really owe loyalty to is God and my husband. I mean, in friendships, of course, you be loyal to each other, but you don't listen. Loyalty also involves, if your friend has a different opinion from you and you don't agree, you just agree to disagree. You don't try to force your beliefs down their throat. I don't like that. So that's a form of loyalty as well. Morbid didn't even really come in my chats. I didn't really speak to him a lot. I mean, sometimes in email, but I don't care. If you think it's disloyal to have my own opinion, then I don't care. I still have the same opinion. Hey, Sam Hill. Morbid was porn bombed a little while later on his live with some picture. Are you trying to say he porn bombed himself? Oh, I don't know what's going on with that. Their fight is not your fight, and these people need to stop making their problems everyone else's. It's gross, immature, period. And uncomfortable. Because I said this, literally, I said this at the beginning of the live stream before Laugh at Life even came in my chat and I addressed her. I said the majority, and you're watching it in real time, and I'm not fighting, by the way, with Morbid or anybody. I'm explaining, I said what I said. I don't know what else you want. You want me to align with your beliefs, but I disagree. I said what I said. I was very clear about it. As Morbid was listening to my live stream, he was pausing and taking things out of context. Like, one thing he took out of context was Laugh at Life had come in my chat and I was addressing her whole situation, and I wanted to make sure she knew that I wasn't, it wasn't going to be a negative thing against her. And then I asked my chat, I was like, is that the real Laugh at Life? And he was like, oh my God, he thinks she's a celebrity. I'm like, no, I'm making sure it's not a clone account. So many things were taken out of context as far as saying I support this and that. It's like, no, like you're reading into it far too much. I said what I said. I believe in forgiveness for everyone, change for everyone, growth, wisdom, all of that stuff. Everybody, even my enemies that hate me, I don't hate anyone. Even my enemies, they even get that. And it feels good to make peace with them when it happens. Another thing he got out of context is he said, oh yeah, you're all about peace. Why don't you forgive Beck and Space Monster? I'm like, and talk to them. I'm like, that's happened numerous times. We've had panels on each other's channels and spoken and laughed, got over stuff, said we're over it. We don't care about the past, what happened. And they must have forgot because they were drinking or whatever. So I have done that. That's the reason I was showing Beck's recording in my live stream, because she was literally saying in it, I've already forgiven Robbie. Yes, I did. 2 weeks ago. That's the way he moves, and I don't know who you're talking about, who's talking about loyalty, but Morbid is far from loyal, infamous truth teller says, to anybody but himself. Well, as far as he was making it sound like you owe an apology to all of these people and this community, and you need to think about your actions, like I was being punished. And I'm like, yeah, no, good. I don't care. I'll sit in the corner forever. Put me in the corner. I'll find something to play with. Play with my dick. How about that? And then I had to come to terms and come back and apologize for my opinion. No, I'm unapologetic about my opinion, because it's a fact. If I went and said I'm sorry, I'm sorry it offends you, but I'm not sorry for having my own thoughts. That's like cult mentality. I'm not calling you a cult, but I don't like that. I don't like it. I won't trust you. Oh, you're talking to somebody else. Sorry. As a sub, I enjoy seeing creators getting along more than arguing. It's not comfortable for me when they're not getting along. Same here. And I mean, that's what I said at the beginning of that stream when I was addressing Laugh at Life. I said the majority, if not all, of my fights on YouTube have started because somebody was mad that I spoke to somebody that they don't like. Almost every single person, even my arch enemies on here, it has started because I did not choose a side or a line, but you're the ones making the sides. And if you're going to do that, I'm going to stay right where I'm at. You just, that's how it is. I'm almost 42 years old, and I would be lying to myself if I didn't fucking say, I disagree with that, so I'm not gonna participate. You're an obnoxious bitch. I could be an obnoxious little bitch. An old school thing that people used to say to infamous truth teller is, if you want to know how somebody talks about you, this and how they talk about someone else when they're not around. Wait, I think I read that wrong. If you want to know how somebody talks about you, this and how they talk about someone else when they're not around. Oh, is by how someone talks about someone else when they're not around, right? Their problems were brought here by them. Now they can take their problems and leave. We already had enough of our own. Would you be open for two people fighting in chat to come up on panel and talk it out if they want to? Yes. Who? I think I know. I was kind of skipping over those ones because I didn't want to read them out loud accidentally. The fighting ones. We're not in high school anymore. Yeah, it is kind of like peer pressure. And at first, like when I had spoke to May, I kind of sensed maybe something was off because Morbid was speaking to me. I was in his chat and he was speaking to me kind of like I was a child, I am a child at heart and I'm fun and I like to be goofy, but like, you thought you were doing the right thing and you failed. No, I did the right thing and I accomplished it. May and I aren't fighting anymore. That's not a failure. Now I offered, can I help now that I've done this? I don't want to be in the middle. Can I help mediate privately somehow with you guys, or is there anything I can do? That's usually what I say when friends are going back and forth at each other now, because you can't just start hating somebody for somebody else. It's not the right thing to do, in my opinion. And a lot of people see that as loyalty, and I can respect that. That's your version of loyalty, but I do not like that. I'm not just going to start disliking somebody because somebody else dislikes them that I love. So I'm not sorry for that. I don't do that control shit. Hey, Andy Cruz. What is personality? He tries to be kind, but not very smooth, and he's kind of obvious. It's just his personality. I know what I don't want to be around my energy, infamous truth teller says. Well, yeah, he was very kind and like, Robbie, you will see the light eventually. Not everybody deserves forgiveness and peace. I know you like to make peace. You don't need to do that. She's a bad person. You're doing the wrong thing. And I'm like, listen, how many times can I say I don't even care if you're a serial killer? Okay? Probably not going to invite you over for dinner. If I do, I'm going to hide all the we're going to eat with our fingers. It's going to be finger food. Hey, Gemini mama. So when he said, sit and think about what you did, I'm like, I don't need to. I stand firm in my beliefs of change, growth, and forgiveness. So maybe sit and think that that's what I believe, and you can accept it or just, whatever. One miracle a week is enough. You performed a miracle yesterday on your panel. You're good for the rest of the week. That was a miracle. Having Scotty and Lycan up yesterday, who go at each other hard. I mean, see, and I know it's possible for you two to have a good conversation because I've bickered with both of you. And you were able to have a good, like, decent conversation with each other. See, I knew it because you did it with me. And just like, May and Morbid, it's very uncomfortable when you say, is there anything I can do to help? And, their response, I think you all know, they heard it. No, I hate them. I'll always hate them. And I'm like, okay, I can accept that. Like, I'm not going to sit there and push you to do something you don't want to do. I can also think in my head and not be disrespectful, but be like, to say that I'm never going to like somebody, you don't know that. There's so many people that I like now that I never thought I would like. Hey, baby love. Yeah, cutie pie. I mean, what? Listen, if people take you moving on as an insult because they still don't get along with that person that you're making progress, you're moving past that, then that might be somebody you might want to cut out of your life. And I'll tell you why. They're holding you back. They're not allowing you to and I'm not talking about Nikki, by the way. I'm talking about the gang mentality over there. Okay. I love Nikki. And she's great. We've spoke about this. If you're gonna be a person to try to hold me back from positive shit, tease me all you want, but I'm going with peace. See ya. Stay in your misery. I take it as no answer for me. Okay, hold on. And Peach is going to scream at me. I know she was probably responding, and I was talking. I love when Peach yells at me. She's like, read your chat. Peach keeps me on top of shit. Just block each other. Who's fighting? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Who's fighting in here in the chat? How about how you treated Beck? I don't give a shit. Look into the history of how Beck has treated me and dedicated channels to going after me and helping Space Monster fucking do all this shit to me while I was going through a really hard time in my life. I've tried multiple times with Beck over and over and over. I think Beck is going to be wonderful. And I know one day she's going to be great. She's going to be sober and help other people that are going through problems. But she's not the real Beck right now when she's like that. When she's drinking, she's nasty, instigating, and like she said, she likes to light fires. So I can't sit there and argue. That's why I jumped down off May's panel last night when we started screaming. I'm like, I'm only going to be meaner and meaner if I stay up here, and I'm going to cut myself out of this conversation. My alarm is a duck. Hey Siri, turn off all of my alarms. Hey Siri, turn off all of my alarms. God. Can I just say I believe Morbid was correct about you? Can I also always Amy is hold on a minute. I don't think Bill, is that really you? Let me see if that's the real Bill. I think his comment was deleted. I don't know if Bill would come in here, but that wasn't. I don't know who you're talking. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It was a back and forth. Long as it stopped now, I don't care. Don't need people being passive aggressive with each other when I'm trying to help. I love you, Peach. Baby love's having a hard time in her own life, so I hope you can all find resolution, stay blessed, and be humble. Yeah, exactly. And like I said at the beginning, I'm not going to jump on the let's ruin Morbid's life train and stuff, because I stand firm when I say he is not what people accuse him of. They may have those opinions. I'm not going to participate in those conversations. You know, Vin Vader, you were very kind to me yesterday. You're like, we can talk about it. Listen, I'm not the single guy who had fucking drinking issues and fucking bullshit issues that had all the time on his hands when I lived at my Aunt Sally's house anymore. It's not my business. I'm married. I, need to spend more time being productive and going back to the gym and spending time with my husband and stuff like that. So, and I also have my own issues like on here that I address that I shouldn't even. I should focus on my life. So I'm not interested in dragging Morbid. I'm not interested in his accusations and, oh, but listen to this. Okay, that's, I don't agree with a lot of the things I've heard, but I don't he's not a P. That's my opinion. and I'm sticking to it. What's AJ doing? Scotty? Is AJ in here? Probably Space or AJ. Oh, okay. It's not Bill. Thank you. Okay. I'm not interested in dragging anyone. Yeah, that's just like I'm not interested in, being like, fuck you, laugh at life when I don't know you and based on something that, shouldn't even be spoke about. Everybody's living situations, people they associate with, things in their past. So many people focus on the past and they don't focus on the present day and what they can do to better where the fuck they came from. And I am going to say this. I did hear Morbid say multiple times, and lots of people, disagree and stuff, but he said the felon that lived with Laugh at Life years ago, he only did 3 years. I'm thinking to myself, a lot of people have different opinions on how does prison reform people and change people, or does it, or can it change? And everybody's different. I don't know. I'm not a fucking psychologist, but every situation is different and should be looked at individually. And if a court of law is handling something and giving somebody their punishment that they gave them, that's what they saw was suitable. And then welcome them back into the free world, no matter who you are, to change their actions so they do not hurt people again or hurt themselves or do whatever. And so that they change their actions so they don't wind up in prison again. I support that. I support people bettering themselves, not being shitty fucking people, and growing. Period. Hey, Tweety. Hey. Actually, it did 2 years. I actually would like to come up and explain something about this. Okay. Let me drop the link. Okay, there you go. So before she comes up, I think people are just too quick to jump on things that they can. When you're mad at somebody, like they want to get their hands on something that can make people hate you or dislike you with them, and I'm not interested in that. So I'm not interested. And the same thing can be applied for the people that hate Morbid. I'm not interested in hating Morbid. I think he's great. I think he's entertaining. He's fun to listen to and stuff. But, it wasn't fun to listen to a lot of the things that were said last night. And I didn't even catch the other ones, apparently, that he did that I didn't even know. I had no idea. So I'm sorry that I have a different opinion, but I still stand in my beliefs. So take it or leave it. That's just me. I do not support P words. I do not think it's okay to abuse people. I do not support abusing people. I do not have pictures of children in my phone, Captain Kangaroo. And listen, I've addressed this already. Mandolin and Hooker, they're like, oh my God, he passed away. No, you talk about people's looks all the time, Mandolin, and so does Hooker. So what I did was this was like well over a year ago. I found a full body picture of her. I was like, and she was wearing a dress. And little tiny kids were at the bottom of the picture, okay? Blocked them out, put a stupid fucking thing over her face. You can't even tell it's her, and teased her. And then she was like, that wasn't me. That was my niece. I'm like, that was you in that picture. Unless you have an identical fucking twin niece that's not related by blood because you're an only child. So anyways, I don't even give a fuck. People are quick to jump on the P word. We had this conversation the other day. Hold on, let me put up my peen screen, or I guess in this case, female, my vag background.
Don't have a
Is that you?
camera.
Oh,
It's
okay.
me.
I couldn't
We
hear
don't
you.
have a camera.
I can't hear you backstage, but okay. I'm going to give you the floor.
Okay, you were saying about the old roommate of mine.
Yes.
he did do 2 years in prison. And here in New Hampshire, when the crime is a 13-year-old or over, that's what they do. It's usually 3 to 5, I guess, especially 25 years ago. And well, 25, no, it was 2004 that he was convicted.
Right.
And from what I've heard, and this comes from a person that I know that was actually one of the first children. He was 14 years old in gang violence, and he was sentenced to life in prison. And from what I heard that they do to the sex offenders in New Hampshire prisons, New Hampshire, not any other place in the country. This is what New Hampshire does. They make them go through rigorous classes. They make them, I guess, show the class what they did on dolls and stuff, and all kinds of stuff. And this person that lived here, and he wasn't my friend, okay? He was not my friend. I don't need to go into all that. I didn't know him when he offended. He lived inner city in Concord. That's where he lived. That's where he lives now. And he didn't want to live in the city anymore. So I needed help at the time, and I had him come move into my home. And anyways, I'm not going to go to all that, but yeah, I didn't make his life very nice. I really didn't. I was mean, and I feel bad, but I don't. But he wasn't. I don't know. He did go through a lot, and it affected him. Just 2 years in prison, it affected him. He wasn't. I don't know. Like how we're talking, just normal, Yeah. You couldn't do that with him. I don't know. He was. They mess him up in prison. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Just the classes and the constant. You criminal, the crime you did, you disgusting every day for 2 years they put that in their brains, and it messes with them. And that's all I'm gonna say. I do not agree with what he did at all. I think it was wrong. And what I was saying on May's 2 weeks ago, she cut the live. I was just telling what he told me the crime was, and what he said, not what I said. Because I think he was an adult. He should have known better. And he shouldn't have even, no matter what, a girl or woman, or no matter if it was a man, woman, child, whatever, you don't do that stuff to a person that can't make a decision like that.
I agree.
And that's the part. May cut the live out. She shut it down right after I was saying, well, this is what he told me he did, and blah, blah, blah. And I went on, and he said that about her. I didn't say that, but people twist things how they want, and twist away, do what you want. The person also wasn't, what is this now? I guess this person was my cousin. Is that what we're saying now? No, Sonia, he blamed the girl. I didn't. I was recapping what he told me his crime was. So and then May cut it. So I didn't get to say why I threw him out, what I didn't get to finish the story, and I'm not going to finish it now. Yes, he did call her that. Dots. That's right. He did. I
Yeah,
was
can
just
I clear something up here? Because that seemed to be, I think, why Morbid was confused, or anybody was confused why, and saying, why aren't you addressing this? You've had a couple of days, and I'm like, I didn't even know you were talking about this for the last couple of days. But what
I
had
didn't even
happened was,
know.
yeah, what had happened was there was, Laugh at Life was explaining this, and they're showing a clip where she said that this girl, the 13-year-old, was
Mhm.
promiscuous. But what Laugh at Life is saying is she wasn't able to finish that story. She wasn't calling her that herself. That's what
No.
you're saying, and
Right.
that
No, because I
she
was
was
saying
telling what he said.
the whole thing was somebody see this all started like I think it was 2 weeks ago. I don't my days just jive together. But anyway, somebody in the chat, and I'd noticed this, somebody kept putting stuff in the chat about I'm like what was it, a pedo sympathizer or something, and that I let them live with me, and I'm like, wait a minute, what is that?
Right.
Okay, you have questions. Yes, I did have one live with me. And then the person in the chat asked, what was the crime? And I said, well, from what he said, and that's the part that everybody's forgetting. I said, what he said is blah, blah, blah. And I said, and he said she was 13, he was 37, and she was 13, and she was promiscuous.
Hmm.
I didn't say she was promiscuous, and I know she's promiscuous. I don't even know her. And honestly, now the woman is like 30 something years old.
Hmm.
So this is his crime that happened in his story to tell. I should have honestly never told his story. That was wrong of me.
Can I ask you how this got brought to YouTube? Was it you
I
just
don't
told the
know.
story? Or?
I don't even know who, because like I said, I saw, okay, first May doxed me, okay? And I asked Morbid for help with the doxing and whatever. And he's like, now this is your problem. Da, da, da. I'm like, no, you should be protecting people that are watching you. And you're not helping us. And then next thing I know, I'm being, so all my life is going out there on May's lives. And then Morbid shit canned me. Sorry, Robbie, I didn't want to swear.
Oh, I have a filthy fucking mouth.
And then so Morbid shit can me, and all the people I thought were my friends for over a year basically turned against me. And then next thing I know, I'm seeing this stuff about I'm a pedo supporter in chats. And I don't even know where they got that, because May didn't even know about my roommate. So it's like somebody that knows me and has talked on the phone with me or something from Morbid's, the people who used to be friends with me must have um told somebody of my past. And I mean, we're talking, this is 2019 when I met this person I had move in, and then COVID happened, so he was stuck here with us. And then 2022 is when I finally told him, "Hey, you got to leave," because my daughter was having a baby, and I just didn't, you don't want those kind of people around kids when they've had even though it was so long ago, and I just don't want to play that game. I don't. It's not safe.
Right.
So I told him he had to leave. So the guy left. And now I've kept all that stuff. So the red dot that used to be on my house is gone, has been gone. So I don't even know where people got this information.
Well, yeah, and I mean, that's why I was saying, and a lot of people disagree with it, and that's okay. We don't know everyone's life story. Um, sometimes,
Can I just
especially,
answer something, Robbie? This
yes,
Bonnie girl,
absolutely.
this Bonnie person. Yes, I have been, just to let you guys know, my 3 adult children, I was 14 years old, well, 13 when I met him, and I was 14 when I first got pregnant, and then I've had 3 children with him, and he was 24. So, you know, I was a victim, but I raised my children and I grew past it. And honestly, all this, my daughter saw all this morning,
Oh, wow.
and she is very upset because you guys are bringing up things and mixing things that don't belong. And her father's dead. Okay. You guys are bringing up past stuff that that doesn't belong on this platform. And unless you want to talk to me and get the true stories, stop. You're hurt. And this is what my channel was supposed to be about. How these kind of things and other things, but this was a big thing. Because I've been around for 4 years and I've watched people just cut each other up and make things up and and twist things, and it was just no, May, and I understand that's another subject, and that's what I'm saying. That's another subject. I do not have any cousins that are younger than me, just to let everybody know. All my cousins are as old as me, and I am not 60. I am 44. But no, this is hurting my family. And May knows that too, because I actually contacted her when she was doxing me and said, May, say what you want about me, but my kids are really getting messed up from this. And my kids are adults. They're not children. They're adults. So
Sorry, I was talking muted.
that's okay,
Trying to
Rob. I'm
respond.
sorry. I'm taking
no,
over your
no.
panel here.
No,
I'm
well, you know what
sorry.
though? But I want you to, because you're getting a lot of heat, and you deserve to be able to speak, your side. And what I wanted to say just quickly was about living situations and stuff like that. A lot of people think, if you have a loved one that has been a felon like this and been on a list and stuff, that you should automatically throw them to the streets and all of that
Well,
kind of stuff
that's
and let them suffer. And I don't believe in that. I think that could make the problem worse and possibly make them become careless. So I don't see it like that. And a lot of people, they disagree with that, and that's okay.
yeah.
That's why I wanted to speak up and just make sure that you knew that I'm not going to block you. I'm not going to participate in those conversations, because I
Well,
like to make people aware, if they see me in a place and it may look like I'm, supporting that topic, I speak up on it and say, hey, I just, so I disagree with this. I still like these people, but I disagree.
right. And that's how I feel too. If somebody's talking about something that I don't agree with, I just, hey guys, I'm gonna leave, I'm not gonna chat today or whatever. But that doesn't mean I hate the person, or I'm not like that. But as for this is a very, and I understand this is a very touchy topic, obviously, for many
Thank you, Peach, for the
reasons.
disclaimer.
And at the same time, you brought up a very good point. And seeing as May was the one,
Hi, puppy. I love dogs. Sorry.
I know he's barking at my neighbor. Anyway, May had mentioned that she got things confused of my cousin and whatever. And this is where it bothered my older kids, is because, and what you just said, Robbie, when you're when you're in a family situation and something horrible happens to this magnitude where a family member is actually charged with a crime like this, what do? You've known the person your whole life, basically. What do?
Mhm.
You do get put in a situation where, and we've just had to deal with that, honestly.
Yeah.
And that's what's upsetting my kids, because what's being said, and now they're saying cousin and this and that. It's not related to me, but it was a family member, and we did not know the charges that this person was facing.
This is a different situation, hunting the forest.
This is a different situation. All we knew was he's a drug addict, and we were helping him get clean, and he was facing a court in January for assaulting a nurse. Well, he didn't come home after court. And I have the proof, and I can send it to you.
Mhm.
All the court documents said was criminal charge, assault, and a drug charge.
Mhm.
When he didn't come home from court, the next day I was looking into it. And now I've known this person since I was 13, and he was 12.
Mhm.
And his charges showed up. And needless to say, all his stuff in the bedroom is gone now. And yeah, he's nope. He lied. I didn't even know. None of our family knew.
Well, laugh at like. Oh, hold on. My alarm's going off in the other room. One sec. I'll be right back.
Robbie has alarms for alarms. It's too. This is too messy, Evil Queen. And when you're talking about people digging up life, and everybody, or maybe not everybody, but in normal life, we all run into things.
Okay, sorry.
We all run into things, and it just grow from the things.
Yes, just another troll. She was telling a recent story. That was the last one where the
Yes.
guy's in jail.
He is in prison for the rest of his life.
And it's important to me.
And I had no idea. And I could send Robbie the court paper right now that shows it did not say anything. And I had no idea. And the way the stories are jiving now, because May had said my cousin. And so now my daughter's all upset. Everybody's all upset in my real life. And it's just, it's a mess. This is all a mess.
Well,
But
can I
the
just?
point is, no molesters anywhere, nobody's anywhere anymore.
It's important though to point out that you don't support the actions of abusers.
No.
You did not commit these crimes.
Nope.
To point into your direction and send people like angry at you for this, like you support it, is dangerous, in my opinion.
Yes.
God, now I have a train out there. Sorry, loud.
I have a dog. You have a train.
I know. It is what it is. So to me, it's just, even if you did help somebody rehabilitate, there's a lot of people that say, if you allow these people in your life and you are supporting their actions, and they may see it like that, but I see it as, no matter what you've done, like I always say, if you're helping somebody get better, whether you're housing them, maybe lending them money, lending them advice or a shoulder to lean on or an ear, to me, that's supporting their rehabilitation. Or whether they're an addict or whatever it is, you are supporting them in that journey of becoming a better human being so that they don't commit crimes. Now that they're in the free world, they have the free opportunity and the freedom, free will to do whatever they want, right? But
Mhm.
not make the choices they made before. So to me, you're supporting rehabilitation. So people that say pedo sympathizer or peace supporter and all that kind of shit, or criminal, or you support whoever it is, you need to stop and think that you're looking at, not you, you're looking at the pessimistic side. I like to be an optimist. I can be pessimistic a lot though too. And wish the best for people and hope the best and see the best in people. And people are like, "Oh my God, not everybody." Yeah, because yes, everybody. Rehabilitation.
There's another one here. Worship my wreck. He's in prison for life. That's not rehabilitation.
They
Yes,
they actually
this
rehabilitate
person
people in prison.
is in prison for life, and we did not know, because honestly, he was here as a drug addict and as part of our family. Okay, he was here because he's been homeless in Manchester, and he always comes back in the winters, and then he goes back to being homeless. We didn't know what he did. Okay, he didn't know what is this. Oh, May, you're telling it doesn't matter who was arrested for what. It's just we didn't know what he did, and given his record and the charges he was facing, which was drug possession, and um he hit a nurse. That was it. That's what we thought we were waiting for his court for.
Yeah, let's not
After
talk
his
about real
court
life, guys.
date,
Sorry. I don't want to go
he
ahead.
was gone. We had no idea. So I wasn't protecting him. I didn't even know. And trust me, now that I know what he's in for, and he took a plea deal. So that was, sorry, Save Robbie, that's different. A plea deal, he took a plea deal on these.
Mhm.
That's big difference than getting found guilty at trial.
Well, I want to read this comment real quick from just another troll saying, "My dad is a therapist in prison system in PA. He counsels sex offenders. In unpopular opinion, rehabilitation is possible if the person wants to put in the hard work." And I don't know, I mean, whether you guys watch these reality shows where, people have been on death row and they follow them until, the day that they're, I don't know, euthanized, whatever you call it. I don't know if that's just for pets, but just because you're behind bars, and I've said this about Chris Watson, people are like, "Oh, I believe that he can rehabilitate himself and
Mhm.
get right with God and come to terms." Like, that's the point of life, whether you're behind bars or not, or on probation or whatever it is. People don't understand it's not just there for punishment. To me,
No.
I don't think punishment is you're gonna suffer forever, because if people are treated that way and you're just gonna be abused to make you suffer, you're gonna become a worse person. So even if people are in prison for life, they're still living a life. They're still breathing. They're still interacting with other, prison mates and whatnot.
Mhm.
So they still have a life, and they can rehabilitate what they have left so that they can get right,
Right.
in my
And
opinion.
that's what I came up originally for, was to explain in New Hampshire. Um and like I said, the gentleman that I know, he's he did murder somebody when he was 14. And he will be on my channel to tell his stories. Um but he gave me a insight to why my roommate that did live here acted like he did. Not talking, he wasn't social, right? And sometimes I would go, you know, and be like, "What? And where is he today?" And I'd go, and he's sitting in his room, just sitting there.
Mhm.
And it's because in prison they do. And New Hampshire, yes, heavily recommended. Just another troll just said. New Hampshire is so hard on SA offenders that he was literally like brainwashed. Like, I don't know. I'm sorry. He he would give money, no problem. He would help as best he could, but when it came to conversating and stuff, he was just not normal. They really did something to him in prison. They did. And 2004 was his crime, and he's never what is it? Redis re whatever. He'd never done it again.
Oh, yeah, I know what I can't think of the word either.
So
I know what you're talking about.
I really think, and the stories that this gentleman, the guy who murdered somebody, has told me about what prisoners do to the SA offenders. They don't as much anymore in New Hampshire, because in New Hampshire they actually put them in their own jails. I mean, their own prison up in Berlin, and their own pods. So they're not really mixed with lifers and stuff that much.
Can I ask you 2 questions to make it cut and dry for a lot of people? Because,
Yep.
So much detail and stuff, and I already know the answer, and this is too clear what you said, so, people get the point. I'm gonna ask you, and it's just yes or no.
Yep.
Do you support abusive criminals?
No.
Do you
No.
blame victims for what's been done to them?
No. No.
Okay. No and no.
No.
See? I just wanted to make it cut and dry for people, so it's no, you do not,
No.
because so many people, and I get it, people talk, people have their opinion, but when you're hearing it from the horse's mouth and she's telling you and she's clearing it up, I mean, that's really all you can do. And I'm glad you came up, and
Yeah.
thank you for the email too, because I'm just not going to do that. And I'm going to look into something further also. And a lot of people have been saying, you need to look further into Morbid's situation. And I get it. People don't like him. They have an opinion on thinking he's the P word. I don't. And so,
And I don't either, Robbie. I don't either. And I have never said that. And I even told May, I will not go with the whole he's a groomer and he's a P word.
Right.
I won't do it, because do I think he said some things that he shouldn't have said in a Discord? Yeah. But it's not to the point of get in prison and be brainwashed. Honestly, the P word is huge to be throwing around.
It is. And also, calling somebody a supporter or a sympathizer of it, we aren't in prison. We aren't in jail. We're out free. We didn't commit these crimes, and people put a target on you. And then, you have hunter groups and all that kind of stuff, that it can be dangerous for people. It can end up doxing their address and all sorts of stuff. And that's why I don't like that attention has been brought to it, in my opinion, unfairly to you. As far as Morbid, Morbid has a very dark sense of humor. People don't get it. I get it.
I get it.
Even
I
him
used to
joking
love
about
him because of it.
Yeah, even taking digs and joking at me last night. Like, he's funny. So
Right.
he's entertaining. I don't think he's a P word. I think the issue is that Morbid is a very entertaining, likable person, that he attracts audience members of many ages. And so, when you get fans, I guess, that are younger, I mean, I disagree with being
Oh my
inappropriate with them, but
God. Somebody just said I'm an aider and a better now. Jeez.
an eight, like an
I'm an
what is
aider
that?
and a better, I guess.
What does
I
that
don't know.
mean?
I aid and abet criminals.
Oh, well, and you just said you
Whatever.
don't,
Whatever.
clearly, I mean, if you did that, you would probably be in prison by now, if you
Yeah.
contributed to any crimes.
Yeah.
German lady says, as long as he's not in possession of any child pawn, pics, etc., sexually seeking out minors, he is not the P word. And yeah, I absolutely agree with that. German lady says he's not likable, and that's okay. Even when Morbid and I have disagreed, even through this, I like him, in this moment, I'm like, fuck him, dude. He could have came to me, but I'm not going to jump on the hate train or anything like that. I'm just explaining to people, and he even said, care to explain yourself? And basically it's cut and dry. It's what I said before. I'm open to people changing and growing.
That's what
And
I want to do. I'm sick of all this he said, she said stuff. If you guys have questions, go to the person. Stop. Just stop. You're trashing people. You're trashing people's families. You're causing undue stress and harm, and you don't even know what you're doing or talking
yes,
about.
right. And, a lot of things get clipped out of context and stuff. And that's why it's important just to have conversations with people. I wasn't able to accomplish that last night with Beck. And, Beck, I apologize for that, but I'm not going to talk to somebody as they're like intoxicated. I've done that to people and they don't want to hear me drunk. So, I want to have logical conversations about stuff, not buy into just clips of whether it's Morbid or you or anybody. I'd rather
No,
just
and
get down to the
I don't
source and
even
be like,
I don't
go
even
ahead.
know how to clip because I because they're so pointless. I don't like clips. And I understand May was trying to help that day that she shut down her live, but at the same time it's like, May, and I told her that when I called her right after. I'm like, May, do you realize what you just did by shutting that live down?
Can I
Where you
also point
shut it
something
down.
else out kind of about because I was saying the other day that, when you have two people that you're getting along with and they're fighting, and you offer them to make amends or what you can do to help and they deny it, which is their right to do, you also have to think about all of this, what's going like on right now with people going after you or whatever. It's all stemmed from those two fighting.
Mhm.
So that's another reason to kind of hopefully motivate those two to they don't have to talk and be friends, but to squash it. It squashes all these other beefs outside of people going at each other and trying to expose and hurt each other. It's not just those two. Like there becomes more
Right.
problems in it the more it goes on, and it just grows bigger and bigger.
And it stinks because May has some real talent in things she does, and I have told her a few times, why don't you go to like, makeup tutorials or skincare or talk about real um people on different platforms I've sent her videos of bigger problems on Kick, honestly, than Morbid. Um and, and I told her, I said, you should try different things because she does have very good some talent, and she has people that are following her. And the problem is if people follow her, like if we're in her chat and saying hi to people, next thing you know, look, Morbid's done how many lives, I guess? He's been bringing me up. It's like 3 now. Why? Because Morbid and I didn't get along on something. He shit canned me, and I've been saying hi in May's chat. I mean, come on. This no, that's not. I don't know.
I just want to respond to Bonnie. She said, the victim will never be the same. And I agree that it's terrible. And, they're going to have to deal with this the rest of their life and go through counseling and all sorts of stuff and hopefully help other people who are in similar situations. And then as far as saying, and I hear this a lot on this topic, a lot of people say, well, now they're out, but you don't know if they've offended again. Well, you don't know that they have or that they haven't.
Right.
All we can do is hope for the best, pray for the best, and hope that they really truly are changing their life and just believe in that. It's so, and I get it. You hate people like that. It's you just do. You have that anger. I'm different. I think no matter who was saying that earlier, I think it was just another troll saying, a lot of people who have been, the offender or the criminal has gone through it themselves. so I think it's important to know people's stories, to where they came from, why they are who they are. There's never a reason or an excuse to commit crimes, but just kind of to see the psychology behind it and recognize it, and
Oh,
you could just recognize it in other people.
I just saw another one that's been going around. Because one night I said that I wanted to be basically like Cherry is to Will, the glare.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I don't really
And
know. I
that's
don't.
because 4 years I've been on this platform, and Cherry is an amazing mod. She gets Will his information right away. She's right there for him. She's telling him what's going on with what. And that's what I meant by that. I didn't want to be romantic with Morbid or nothing like that. I just wanted to be able to be trusted by Morbid. And because I really think Morbid could have had a great fucking show. He really could have, because of his dark humor and his wittiness. And I really liked that whole part of his show.
Yeah,
And I
me too.
wanted to learn from him. That's all I meant. And Cherry, she's always going to be #1 mod in my head, because she is really great at what she does. And I wanted to be a mod like she is. And I wanted to learn from Morbid. That's all I meant. Nothing more. So you guys keep twisting it. Go for it. It's just all this stuff, Robbie. And just like, I really appreciate you letting me come up. But I know that
Absolutely.
this is going to be cut and clipped, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't wait to see what tomorrow brings.
Well, not only that, not only cut and clipped, but also there's a lot of people where when you choose, because it's your choice to explain yourself, nobody ever makes you. You're your own person. You don't even have to respond. So I respect you for even being brave enough to tell your side. But even though you've done that, of course, people are also going to twist it, not only clip it, but, oh, you're just making excuses or whatever. So if they don't take your word or your side, at least you've explained yourself. You made it pretty clear, especially today. And you don't. If people are going to go around saying you support that, that's incorrect. And I want to remind people that there's a lot of people. You could really ruin somebody's life by putting that target on them. There's a lot of people that end up unaliving because of stuff like that. And it's not safe. It's not okay. And I don't agree with putting that target there. That's why I
Right.
don't agree with putting that target on Morbid either. So,
But
I have to go here in about 5 minutes, but do you have
I'm
anything
going to
you want
jump
to?
down.
Okay.
Thank you again. And now we got them all in here. So,
Yeah,
hey
well, you're
guys,
welcome.
it was great being friends with you guys for a year. It's so great to see how shallow your friendships are, because mine aren't that shallow. And that's it. Thanks, Robbie. I will be around. I
Yeah,
might not
thank you.
chat in the chat because I don't want to cause this kind of hell for you. You're a very good person, and I knew that.
Well, I appreciate you, and thank
All
you
right.
for explaining your side.
All right. Thank you, Robbie.
You're welcome. Okay, guys. Yeah, I agree. Christy T. Victim shaming is never okay. Uh, I just wanted to clear that up. I don't feel like I owe that to anybody to clear up what I meant, but just a general blanket statement. I've always said this, and the older I get, it becomes even stronger. My opinion on, because if I wouldn't have allowed myself to go through addiction issues, um, substance, alcohol, it's a learning experience, and you're always going to have to practice and exercise growing, and you're going to fail a lot. Uh, and I believe that that helps make you stronger. Unfortunately, there's people that have actually committed crimes, deal drugs. Then you have murderers and P's and all this kind of stuff, to where they're to the point where they can never be in the free world again, or they're in prison for a certain amount of time, or maybe it's somebody who's gone crazy and they're put in a psych ward, or unfortunately you have people that have dementia and Alzheimer's and stuff, that's uncontrollable uh as well. Like, there's so many different situations that you have to learn to be in, and I think you have to deal with it every day. It's much like AA says, one day at a time. And learning to forgive myself for abusing myself with substances and other people, hurting other people's feelings. Even today, I still try to work that out with having conversations, and a lot of the times it just fails and I end up snapping. But I do believe in acceptance and forgiveness and conversations. I fight with a lot of people, but I'm always open to talking to people and working stuff out. Even if it takes a number of tries, and man, has it with some of you bitches. Thank you, Michelle. You have a good day too. And so it's very simple. And I am aware, especially through this situation, that I am aware that when you have a peaceful interaction with somebody, I'm aware that it can be offensive or hurt others because they don't get along, or they've gone through a terrible experience with the person that I'm forgiving or, making peace with. But I also hope that you can be aware that that feels like a good decision, and it's not out of spite. Um, that tattoos lady seems to have a hate boner for me everywhere she goes. And, she's like, he does this to everyone. He doesn't even talk to Mexi anymore. Bitch, I just talked to Mexi the other day. Not everything needs to be public. The other day. And, he does this to all of his close friends. No, well, I have an issue in falling out with people who don't allow me to think for myself. So if you take it as that, and that I'm not going to align with your beliefs, tattoos, you're the problem. And you've been a big problem for a long time anyways, but I mostly ignore that one. She just I saw what I saw and heard what I heard. And see, and look, May is very sorry to use this word, May. It's not to offend you, but very aggressive in her opinion. And I do disagree with it. I'm not going to entertain or participate in conversations that are calling Morbid the P word and stuff like that. I just don't want to do that. Morbid, if you're listening, I don't want to, I didn't mean to offend anybody, but I did want to make it clear that I understand you disagree, but I'm not changing my mind because of that. And, whether you respect it or not, that's your choice. And I'm not going to sit here and blame you and say you're a cult leader and stuff, but I would just appreciate if you would just, simply let me have my opinion. Whether you let me or not, I still have it, or whether you want me to or not. And I mean, it really is as simple as that. This is what confuses me. Okay. I got to go in a few minutes, but this is what confuses me and this is why I don't fucking be a people pleaser, and be kind and respectful and shit. But don't try to please people based on their opinion just because you love them or they're your friend. Don't. I'm not going to do that. So if I'm like pleasing you, I'm not being honest to myself. If I'm just doing that, that's a lie. I'm not going to lie to you. I think friends should be honest with each other. Just be like, hey, no, I disagree with that. Don't make fake apologies. And don't fucking do something just because somebody tells you to do it. Don't do that, because you're going to be fucked over in the end. You could go along with somebody and support them, and something bad can end up happening. Bye, Bonnie. You cannot support somebody something bad. Just make your own fucking choice. That's all I'm doing here. That's all I'm ever going to do. And I mean, that's that. But it really was confusing because it's either Robbie is an asshole because he's being mean to people and talking shit and blocking people. He needs to change. He needs to grow. He needs to be a better person. But then when am doing that and I am showing growth and I am feeling better, making peace with people, that creates an issue. So either way, you're not going to be able to please everyone or those people. It's not going to happen. So do what feels right. And if what feels right to you, if people don't allow you to think for yourself, and you could be making the wrong decision, something that feels right could actually be wrong. But you felt it's the intention behind it, and you could end up getting fucked over. But that's your experience to experience on your own, instead of just being a follower, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Hey, Robin. Hold on, Robin. I always tell Robs I want to see him and Michael pillow fight. Love you, Robin. Robbie, it's a very touchy subject. Emotions are high. Everyone is entitled to an opinion. Some can decide not to support as well. Someone time having a good conversation one-on-one is best adulting. I 100% agree with that. Roses are red. I wish Morbid would have done that. I didn't know that he was streaming about me. I didn't know. Could you just shot me an email or something? I don't know. Tagged me? I don't know. Just because a friend or creator talks to somebody doesn't mean you have to. Exactly. So, I think that's all I had to say. I probably should have waited another day because I've been kind of pissed off about it, but I tried to be as respectful as I could. But I am pretty annoyed and mad, and I'll get over it. But yeah, and my thoughts aren't all collected. I just kind of was like, whoa, what the fuck? That is correct, Mimi. As Geminis, we are not followers. I support whatever you want to do. Robbie, you don't owe anything to anyone. You're an adult. And May, I do want to say thank you for conversating. Thank you for being the first one to make a civil conversation. Thank you for removing those videos of Nikki you said you removed, because, you know, that was a big part of what kind of was eating me up inside after we spoke, because of course I wasn't going to take back our piece. And then I felt bad because I didn't know the details of the videos and all that. And it was a very uncomfortable, painful experience, you know, for probably everybody, not just me. You're here for the chapstick. So that's, yeah, that's it. If I offended people, I apologize. I didn't mean to. And, you know, it is a running joke, and it's always been a running joke. Like, Robbie wants peace. He's a peacemaker. And I'm good with that. I'd rather be made fun of for something positive than shitty stuff, like my big fucking mouth or something more negative, you know. There could be a lot worse. But in my opinion, if you're choosing to stay in all of that anger, it's just going to get worse. And then people eventually end up getting hurt, all sorts of shit. And I'm not interested in that. So I'm going to end with a depressing song because it's just that mood. That's the vibe I'm feeling. So I'm probably not going to go live for a couple of days just to fucking calm my soul and mind. And I hope you guys
no chance, no